How's it going, Trail?
Yeah.
Holy moly. Here we are. I've been screaming this stuff at the top of my lungs for the last 3 years. And what has happened in the last 3 weeks has got me really, really pleasantly surprised. There's something shifted. Right? Something's happening in this country. And we're seeing it not just in this country, in other countries. We're seeing it down in the States. They're taking their country back county by county. And people are waking up to what's going on here. Right? No one's coming. This is on us. We've abdicated our responsibility to help govern our country, and the incrementalism that these globalists have been applying to us for decades has brought us to this point.
Yep.
Right? A bridge too far. Like, I'm in awe of this enemy. I'm a PsyOps guy from the military, right? I look at things a little different. I see the strategies that they use. And I'm in awe of how effective they are, how well-timed their every implementation of their operation that goes down, and the timing, right? Pump people up with fear, back it off just in time. That fear inoculation's wearing up, so we'll come up with a new threat. They're so good. They have us dialed in. They have psychologists figuring all this stuff out, and they know what we're going to do, when we're going to do it. The technocracy feeds them the data. They know what we're going to do before we do. But to try to implement medical apartheid during a federal election, I don't know. Like, is this hubris? Is this just sheer stupidity? I don't know what's going on. But it's falling apart. Their narrative is collapsing under the weight of its own lies, and people are waking up to what's going on. This whole black versus white, gay versus straight, liberal versus conservative, it's all a lie. This is tyranny versus freedom.
Yep.
And right now, in Canada, we have one voice that's standing up and saying Canada first. And that's the People's Party of Canada. You know, people keep coming up to me, you're splitting the vote, you're splitting the vote, you're splitting the vote. There is no vote to split on our side. We're the one voice. The Conservatives, Helene, I'm hearing feedback, right? And Helena's running around and she's like, Sean's a hypocrite. You know, he goes to these anti-mask rallies and yet he wears a mask at work. Like, I'm an emergency nurse, right? I kind of have to wear a mask at work. Oh wait, where's his Alberta license plates? Like, where's he from? What's going on? Right? And like, I work in both provinces. I live in both provinces. Although I got to say, I just bought a place in Grand Forks, and I'll be getting BC plates. So if there's any concerns, right, I can put those to rest. Yeah, I know. Holy moly. Yeah, ICBC. That's a whole other topic. Why are they talking about this? Because they can't talk about their platform. Because the Conservative Party of Canada supports everything that the Liberals are doing right now. When you hear Boris Johnson say Build Back Better, Joe Biden say Build Back Better, Angela Merkel say Build Back Better, and then you listen to our politicians and Jagmeet Singh, Build Back Better, Justin Trudeau, Build Back Better, and what does Erin O'Toole say? Build Back Stronger. They're all reading from the same script, right? I have a lot of people come up to, and they're worried about election integrity. And I got to tell you, I have confidence in Canada elections. We don't have to cheat on election day in Canada. Our elections are already pre-cheated. They use Dominion voting at the leadership conventions, right? They've got a globalist installed at the head of every party. So it doesn't matter who you vote for until this year and the last election, right? For the first time since the Reform Party of Canada, we have a Canada First attitude. So I'm so overwhelmed by the support we're receiving. people from all stripes. I'm getting calls from Greens, I'm getting calls from NDP, I'm getting calls from Conservatives, I'm getting calls from Liberals. Everyone's waking up to the lies they've been told. And it's happening all of a sudden. It's kind of weirding me out. Right? This is really, really cool to see. Some people have been listening. Like I said, I've been doing speaking tours and we've been talking about this. And for the last year and a half, I've been saying we are one news story away or one catalyzing event away from being able to form government in this country. We may have just had that catalyzing event. This vaccine passport is a bridge too far. 91% of British Columbians are against this.
Woo, good.
Why they would do this right now in the middle of election, I have no idea.
They're stupid.
Yeah,
It's asinine.
it is. It is. It's completely ridiculous.
I know why they do it. Because God said He would turn our enemies against themselves.
Yeah, good
I
one.
tell you,
Yeah.
I tell you, man.
Also,
I'm a soldier
they
and a
think we're too
nurse.
worried
I'm not a
about
politician.
everything else, too.
I've worked as a paramedic, a firefighter. Last 16 years as an emergency nurse. I spent almost 2 decades in the military, 17 of that in the infantry. I've served every community that I've lived in and my country. And I've recently been kicked out of the Army. My chain of command in the Army has reported me to the College of Nurses. I'm being investigated right now for professional misconduct and endangering the public because I've said we need to do a better job with COVID and that my co-workers aren't racists. This is where we're at in this country.
We'll stick up for you.
Thank you, my dear. Right there, anyone that stands up against this gets hammered on.
We're tough.
I don't care. I recognize the threat. I know where this is going. I got involved in politics 4 years ago. I've been an atheist my whole life. Right? I believe in God now, and I'm buying a farm. I didn't see that one coming.
Yes, 'cause you're
We are in a war that has been waged for a very, very long time. And we are coming to a point where we are going to see some significant changes. Right? This 400-year-old game of Monopoly we've been playing since the formation of the Bank of England, French Revolution, comes back to those big 3-stone dildos, Washington, D.C., Corporation of the City of London, and the Vatican. People are waking up to the deception. And it's amazing to watch. It is. It's amazing to watch. And I don't know why all of a sudden, if it's just they've pushed too far, but it's happening. It's happening right now. If you talked to me a month ago, I would have said, I'm all in for the fight. We don't have a chance of winning this riding, but I'm going to go up there and I'm going to speak truth to madness, right? And we're going to see a Liberal majority. Today, I think I'm winning this riding. And we're not going to see a Liberal government. It's falling apart as we speak.
Yes.
And the rate at which it's falling apart, it's dizzying. Like I said, for a guy that's been yelling at this for the last 3 years, we've been traveling all over. Mark Friesen and myself, with the Forum for Canadian Sovereignty, we've been doing speaking tours, and we've been talking in Quonset huts, airport hangars, slaughterhouses, churches, farmers' shops, going around just talking to average Joe Canadians about what the hell is going on in their country right now and what we have to do to stand up. Because, no one's coming to save the day. This is on us,
Yeah.
right? We've abdicated our responsibility for too long, and we need to take the power back. Because as soon as enough people stand up and say no more, this goes away.
It does. It absolutely
Like that.
does.
So I know I should be talking about the PPC right now. I just want to let you know, we've also got a beachhead established within the British Columbia Conservative Party. We're taking it over. We're turning it into a Conservative Party. Jules right there, she's on the board. Kyle Delphine was our president. Like, we've got good people. We're gonna have a BC First Party. Carrie Simpson with 300k.ca. She's creating a massive voter bloc across the nation, identifying candidates that stand up for Canadian values, right? This needs to be fought at the federal, the provincial, and the municipal level.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie, people, like, we're up against the ropes here. Right? This is serious times. You look at these things and
It's the only choice
you vote
we
your way
have.
into this, you shoot your way out. We've seen this movie several times before, right? But what an opportunity.
Exactly.
This game we've been playing for a really long time, the die is cast, I think. They printed 35% of the world's wealth last year. You look at what they've done to most of the institutions in this country and other countries around the world. We're not facing this alone. They have broken the wheel, and we get to build something new. Why not do it something beautiful? They're trying to go for an Orwellian play. Let's just build a better world. Okay? I tell you, man, I'm stoked. I am. I'm really stoked. The response that we're seeing, the lies are wearing off, and we got a real opportunity to make a difference here. But like I said, this is on you guys. Okay? When you see those conservative signs, you need to talk to them. Why are you voting conservative? Are you anti-vaccine passport? Because the conservatives are supporting that. Why are you voting for the NDP? The NDP, I grew up in an NDP household, right? They're for the little guy, the working guy. So why would you vote for a party that's supporting corporations that are profiting and implementing this tyranny? Because it's not police that are forcing you to wear a mask. It's the guy at Canadian Tire. This is how they do it, right? The government doesn't have the power to implement this, so they get the corporations to do it and the insurance companies.
They deputize
Right? This is a
everybody.
liability thing.
Yeah.
We're not going to insure you unless you implement this tyranny. Oh, we got to implement this tyranny. Are you in government enforcement? No, I'm a stalker at Canadian Tire. Right? This is how this works. So, yeah, if you know people that vote NDP, hey, let's vote for the little guy. You know people that vote conservative, right? And they're voting because they want this to stop. Well, Aaron O'Toole supports this. That's why he's talking about seniors' pensions. Who is here today because they're worried about seniors' pensions? Who's
gives
here
a shit
today
about
because they're worried about
pipelines right
systemic
now?
racism? The climate emergency? COVID-19 is the catalyst that's going to wake this planet up. And they've overreached, people. Yeah. Anyways, thank you all for coming out. I'm going to be here. If you got any questions at all, yeah, fire I'm on. Any questions?
Thank you. Thank you.
What can we do to help you get on the debate?
They can't have us on the debates. Right? They can't have this message because
What
it
about us?
resonates. Like, as a voting guy, you could mute every politician in this country and look at their eyes. Right? When you see these PPC candidates, they got a fire in their eyes. Why? Because they're telling the truth and they recognize the threat. You look at these other pricks and they just got dead eyes and saying the same shit they're always saying. Right? They're lying. And there's no heart in it. I tell you, we're up against the ropes here. And we've seen this movie play out, but we're seeing things around the world that are giving us hope. And what I've seen over the last 3 weeks just boggles my mind. When we first started doing this, right, it was mostly, a group of 8 dudes. 7 of them had tinfoil in their hats. Yeah. And now it's soccer moms. They're messing with my kids.
Yep.
They've gone too far.
Bloody right they are.
And it's on us because it's like, who's ever been to a hypnotist show,
Yeah.
right? They bring 10 people on stage and they send 2 back to the audience because it doesn't work on them. We're the ones it doesn't work on.
The 20
And it's our job to carry the message to the people who haven't discovered what's going on yet. And the job is getting a lot easier. Right? Is it Mark Twain that said it's easier to fool someone than to convince them that they've been fooled, right? It's getting so ridiculous, it's getting easier every day to convince them that they've been fooled. Because there's a lot of people that know, they're like, I got the double jab, now I gotta show my papers and get another vaccine every 6 months. Yeah, and wear a mask anyways,
And all of a sudden,
right? And you need to get your vaccine. Well, why do I need to get my vaccine if yours works? Right? Like, none of it makes any sense.
They gotta keep taking boosters.
Yeah. And the masks, right? Putting up a chain link fence to keep the mosquitoes out.
The buttons.
It just, it's all so ridiculous. And people are waking up to the lies. We've been in a war for a very long time, being waged against us on 10,000 fronts. And most of us don't even know we're in the war. They're revealing their hand. And COVID-19 is the catalyst that's going to wake people up. So, yeah. You don't have to tell me I'm a PsyOps guy, right? That's going to be my priority. We need to address the media issues and the education issues in this country. Without their spellcraft, none of this works. And this stuff only works in the spellcraft, sorcery, psychological operations. All this stuff only works in the dark, and we're shining a light on it. Because once people see, you never see someone come to the conclusions that we're coming to, and then go back and it's like, oh, no, I was all mistaken. The government really loves me and cares about me and is working in my best interest. We've never heard that argument. Once you see this, once you wake up, you can't unsee it. And it's our job to carry this message to everyone else. Because they're going to vote against our they're going to vote against their own interests out of ignorance. And we need to show them a civility that they seem incapable of. Right? We need them. We're all in this together. And if we know where this story ends, if they don't come to the right conclusions in time, we need them. Until we have that critical mass to turn this off. So yeah, when I go to protests and I'm waving a flag that says, honk for free, waving a Canadian flag or holding a sign that says honk for freedom, and people lean out their car windows and scream at me and say, I wish you would die. And I look in their eyes, they mean it. They're terrified. Right? They're terrified. They've had fear porn pumped into their living room for the last 2 years. Almost. What conclusions are we? They're coming to the conclusions that we're all supposed to come to. We need to show them that no, this isn't what you need to fear.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, we're up against them, right? They've got a media that's bought and paid for, the cooperation of the corporations that are helping implement this and profiting off of it. But we have the message.
We have the truth.
You said earlier that it almost seems ridiculous that they chose this point going into an election to roll this COVID passport thing out. So do you think that this could be a game where they're watching how much success potentially someone party like yours has? We might see before we get to the polls in September, you're unvaccinated, you're not allowed to vote.
Okay, so I talked with Elections Canada yesterday. I got kicked out of their office because I wasn't wearing a mask. But you will be afforded those accommodations. As a candidate, there's different rules for me. I have to wear a mask, or they'll. Yeah, we're talking outside now, right? But I was told that they will. You don't need a vaccine passport, and they will honor medical exemptions for masks at the polling stations. Speaking of polling stations, after witnessing what we just witnessed in the States, I think it's very important that we have scrutineers. How do we do that? Marty, if you want to raise your hand. Okay, Marty's the volunteer coordinator for Trail. I would encourage you to talk to her and help us out with that.
Yes.
We need eyes over shoulders on this one. Right? Because we know they're going to be over there and using every tool in their toolbox to be able to disqualify votes. And if there's no PPC voice there, it makes it easier for them. Right? If they're going to steal it, let's make them earn it.
Do those people need to be vaccinated?
I don't believe so. They said no. So we're being Elections Canada staff, though. You might have to wear a mask. I don't think they'll honor the. If you put a badge on, I'm pretty sure you'll have to wear a mask. But we've been forced to wear masks in several situations throughout the last 2 years. One night on election night, I don't think will hurt. For some, this is important, right? Normally, I'd say don't compromise, but this is important.
Do we have any PPC tech guys that can oversee that on the night of the election?
I'm sure they'll have something in headquarters. I'm not privy to that. Okay. Right now, we're focusing on getting a command structure in place. So we've got volunteer coordinators in every community within the riding. Because, yeah, courtesy of the gerrymandering that occurred previously, we have got an ungodly riding here. It's so huge and not easy to get around in. So we need to have good communications and a lot of support in outlying communities. We want people to see what's going on and the momentum gain visually. So I've been identified as one of the candidates that has a good likelihood of winning, and we've had a little infusion of cash, and we've purchased a lot of signs. So I'm going to be we're going out with a messaging campaign. I'm not the message. The message is the message. So we're doing messaging on 4x8 billboards. We need help getting them out. Okay? So talk with Marty. I want signs from end to end of this. They won't let Max in the debates. We know why. They won't sell us advertising in mainstream media. Right? We know why. They're trying to silence our voice. So let's scream it loud on road signs and face to face. Right? Yeah, man.
How would you predict someone in person not to worry about spitting a vote, take a chance?
So people seem to be so focused on Trudeau, they hate him so much that we will take anything but Trudeau, and we'll vote for we'll vote for the Conservative Party. Who do you think signed us up for this? Right? Wall falls in the Soviet Union. Hooray! Communism is dead. 1992, the Rio Declaration. Agenda 21, signed by Brian Mulroney and a Conservative government. 2015, Agenda 2030, the next iteration of Agenda 21. Right? The new form of one world government, world communism. Signed by Stephen Harper.
In the back, go check, go grab one, and there's.
This is a Conservative government initiative. Why do you think the Conservative Party hired Kinsella Group to pay Antifa to show up at everywhere we went, calling us Nazis? Had people infiltrate the party and say dumb things and blow up all the media. They've been running a disinformation campaign on us for a long time. The Maverick Party, right? That's a Stephen Harper. Those guys are all Harperites. Anything they can do to stop our message from being heard, because our message is the nail in their coffin. And people recognize it when they hear it. They've been lied to so much. We've got such a vacuum of leadership in this country. They can't let you see a real leader, right? Maxime Bernier, a few years ago, planted a flag. He said, Canada first, always. The Overton window in this country is moving to that flag. I'm having troubles wrapping my head around it. It might be arriving there just as we're having this election. This is what's going on right now. That doesn't work without a BC first attitude. That doesn't work without a trail first attitude. Like we're seeing in the States, right? This comes down to the community. We need to focus and we need to get involved. Politics is gross for a reason. It's filled with narcissists and sociopaths, right? To keep people like you out of it. You think I want to go to Ottawa? I'd rather start a shotgun, right? It's just, but I see the threat, right? Because the Harper government, or the O'Toole government, stands for everything that the Liberals stand for. They're splitting the vote. They're splitting the globalist vote 4 ways. And we've got